Hello and welcome to another Company of Heroes 3 game. My name is Fancy Josh, and today I've got a game for you between Lemon as our Wehrmacht, and his opponent today is going to be Ray as our British. So Ray is #1 in the world, as all 4 factions, I do believe. So I'm excited to see what he's got in store for us today on this new patch. I have not cast him on the new patch yet, and I'm hoping he's going to do something creative, something new that we haven't seen before, but alas, if that is not the case, I'm sure it's going to be a great game. Both these players very highly rated. Standard opening for our German, a little less standard for our British player. Typically, you'll see players go for a Royal Engineer before a infantry section, but that's okay. Grenadiers for our German. Now, I think that Ray, at the start of every patch, changes his name to another Axis unplayable patch. So that is what I put on my thumbnail. I hope that wasn't misleading. I think it's pretty funny that he does that, despite the fact that he's #1 rated as all 4 factions. So Axis is very clearly playable this patch. Second infantry section on the field for our British player. Heavy machine gun coming out for our German. Map today is going to be Road to Tunis. 4 quadrants divided by 4 cutoff points. You'll see players typically try to fight over those cutoff points there occasionally. Sometimes you'll see players fight over the fuel. As the game goes on, fights tend to focus around the middle of the map. But in the early game, we're going to see fights all over the place. So, our British players locked in our German players locked in the Breakthrough battle group. Breakthrough, pretty popular this patch, did see some changes, namely to the assault package available to the converting your units into assault grenadiers. They saw a accuracy improvement at close and medium range, making the damage of that unit more consistent. As well, consistent and higher. So that's been pretty popular. I want to say there was another change as well, but I could be misremembering that. In any case, I think this is already a really good battle group because of its early access to these Stoßtruppen via the I forget what the name of it is, mechanized assault group, calling in a half-track, and the Stoßtruppen, very, very powerful. And British player making a play for his opponent's close fuel from the looks of things. German counter-pushing here. Have a machine gun going to set up, block this cutoff from being taken, but does look like he's going to lose his fuel point there. British player with a pretty good position here on that heavy cover from the truck. The machine gun moving up a little bit. Does have to be wary of a capture by this right side. Wouldn't mind seeing these Pioneers go deep for a steal of his own. Pioneers might get there just in time to stop this capture from happening. Just in time. So nice effort by our German player, or by our British player, but the German is going to stop that from happening. Probably going to see this unit get reinforced by the Grenadiers. Might happen again. Is going to bail out instead, and these infantry section is going to have to give up this position. So cool little fight there. Love seeing players get aggressive like that. Both players going to come out with an even amount of fuel and munitions. Infantry section might go down here. One more shot. Just barely going to get out of there. So very fortunate for our British player. German player still stuck in his base a little bit and having his fuel stolen. Should be able to stop it once again. Luftwaffe company on the way. Rail engineers did go down while that fight was happening, but we do see a 4th infantry section on the field for our British player here. And German player trying to steal away the cutoff, but going to get stopped by the infantry section there. And all things considered, exactly even, despite the brawl we've been seeing. Neither player really losing anything substantial, just the Royal Engineer. Base barrage coming out here from the Dingo there. Now, of course, this barrage did get nerfed in this patch. This forward observer artillery barrage cooldown was increased from 60 seconds to 2 minutes. And it had its munitions cost increased by 10 munitions as well, now costing 45. So I think that was a good change. I mean, it's definitely more powerful than a grenade and should cost more resources. And also, it shouldn't be available all the time, so players now have to use it more tactically, right? They can't just throw it down every opportunity. They have to choose when they want that to happen. So I think overall it's a good change. Looks like players are going to be trading fuels here. Royal Engineers have been added back on to repair up that Dingo. A little fight breaking out here, but neither player going to commit to that. And British player is going to come out ahead on victory points and fuel from the looks of things, so nicely done by him. Seeing a black gun team being added on for our German here. I have such mixed feelings about this unit. I think it can be really, really good, and it can also be really, really bad. And it doesn't seem to be a skill issue, it just seems to be... I don't know. So it has slightly longer range and way more damage compared to a heavy machine gun. Cannot be suppressed. And I don't know. It's better against vehicles. Like, it will absolutely shred this Dingo if he doesn't see it, which you should see it here. Not going to go down to a 1 burst, but is going to go down to 2, so I guess this unit has already been worth it for our German player. I mean, that is the advantage of that unit, of course. Absolutely shreds vehicles, but is very vulnerable to flanks like what we're seeing here because it cannot suppress his opponent. Pioneer's probably going to go down here. Nice pickup by the infantry section. Anti-aircraft gun refacing, though. Already Veterancy 1, so it's going to have more health as well as its Vet 1 ability, which is that button vehicle. So can essentially suppress a vehicle, reducing its vision, movement speed, and DPS. A machine gun covering this AA gun from this house over here. Might see it suppress the... Oh man, just look at that damage from that AA gun. I mean, that is its strength. If you stand in front of it, you're gonna die. We saw that there. Heavy machine gun repositioning, but getting absolutely wrecked by the flamethrower. Grenadiers in heavy cover here. German player with control of the victory points for the time being. Very equal resources, all things considered. Bren machine guns from our British player here. Been seeing more of that this patch. I think that now that the Recce package does not affect all units, it is more prudent for players to pick up the... Sorry. The Recce package not being able to throw down the artillery barrage anytime at once is leading to players picking up Bren guns instead because of the Bren's consistent damage at all ranges. Recce package, of course, still good, so we did see our British player add on 1, but like I said, Bren's more common these days. Also, something that's more common is I've seen British players consistently going up to 4 infantry sections instead of just 3. I've actually seen that for all 4 of the factions, consistently going up to more core infantry. I'm not sure what's caused that. And I don't think it's any better or worse. I think it's just a little more capture power, a little more chunkiness on the front lines. Yeah, I don't know. It's a curious thing. So, Black Panzer on the field for our Germans. Scout car close behind. Excuse me, armored car close behind. Looks like the Flak Panzer's going to come help out on this bottom side. So very standard for our German. And we have seen him add on an assault package to one of his grenadiers. So expect we'll be seeing him try to close the gap with that unit. Black Panzer on getting up in his opponent's face, and German's going to have to give up this whole side. Looks like he is going to... Oh, not going to finish the decapture there. Recce package going to have to back away. A gun continuing to just absolutely blast this house. House is not a safe place to be anymore. Infantry section's going to have to give it up. Armored car trying to slow this advance. Black Panzer willing to fight. AT grenade going to slow that Flak Panzer down in its tracks here. Infantry section again trying to slow this down and is succeeding. So we're going to see a small window here where our German has substantially superior map control, throwing down a bunch of mines on this left side. Interesting to see. Wouldn't mind seeing a Grenadier squad kind of peek up on that top side. Maybe see what's going on up there, try and take away a little bit of territory from his opponent. Probably respecting the armored car, right? His armored car has extremely great mobility. And if you just send an unsupported Grenadier squad to the top side, they will very likely have to deal with this armored car. So, Jaegers being added on by our German here to deal with the armored car. British player has added on a 2-pounder to deal with the Flak Panzer here. Might be able to find him. Flamethrowers cooking these Grenadiers out of their cover. They're going to have to give up the position. 2-pounder covering the armored car. They're going to get a front hit on that Panzer, bouncing off the front there. But penetrating on that second shot, getting in some good damage. Black Panzer sitting at max range. Mines going down, totally wrecking those Royal Engineers there. AA gun covering the Flak Panzer from infantry. Another mine being found somewhere. I didn't see where that happened. Armored car closing with this AA gun. AA gun going to have to give up the position. Probably going to go down to this armored car. 2-pounder has an angle on the Flak Panzer, though. Nicely done. Are we going to see this armored car destroy this AA gun, or is he going to try and steal it? He's going to destroy it with his 2-pounder. Heavy machine gun going to go down here to this Bren gun. Assault Grenadiers trying to close the gap here. Save the AA gun. Not going to happen. And nice little push by our British player. Getting a great flank and continuing to sweep through after winning the fight on this bottom side. You know, something I've seen Ray do before is he uses low health squads as if they were full health. Like, a lot of players, I feel like they hit a mine, they instantly retreat. But Ray typically doesn't do that from what I've seen. He'll get in your face with a low health unit, just capture away the territory because they're out on the field already. And for someone like Ray, I think that works because he, he has the APM and the micro to like notice when this unit is again in jeopardy. Might hit this mine on the way out though. Nice pickup by our German there. 2 mines in a row. Remember that mine placement, folks. I do believe that this mine was specifically to catch a unit retreating from here. At least that's what it feels like to me. So both players taking losses there. Now the AA gun, I mean, another thing I don't like about this AA gun is that it gets stolen away so easily, but British player destroyed it instead. And actually going for the M3 Stuart. Very cool to see. Now this unit didn't see any changes in the patch, but it's refreshing to see it here. Stuart's going to be pretty good against these Wirbelwinds here. Wirbelwind, as W's are pronounced like V's. Black Panzer's hunting around, trying to find something. Not sure what they're looking for. Grenadiers might even get this flamethrower. Bringing a minesweeper along with him to make sure that he doesn't have to deal with anything from his opponent. And actually bringing his entire army down here. A little surprising. This central building did go down while all that fighting was happening. Grabbing the flamethrower with his Jaeger squad of all things. Stuart on the scene here. Getting some nice hits on this flak panzer. Being very, very aggressive with this Stuart. Rotating down is Ray. And good hits all around. These flak panzers are going to get behind this 2-pounder from the looks of things. Infantry section also taking that splash damage from those flak panzers. Two-pounder still up, but totally surrounded by grenadiers. Probably going to get stolen away. Whirlwind's going to go down here to the Stuart, though. Jaeger's going to try and help out. Not going to get much done there. This grenadier cannot retreat because it has a terrible, terrible retreat path, so we're seeing him kind of bring it away from those units. More grenadiers reinforcing. Getting wrecked a little bit. Oh, Stuart tried to pick it up, but not going to happen. 2-pounder going to be manned here and refaced. Stuart going to respect that. Jaeger's missing a ton against this Stuart, but Stuart popping smoke and going to bail out. So, British player a little trapped in his base right now, but fortunately for him, still controlling that entire top side. Black Panzer peppering these infantry. Stuart pushing up to try and remove the Black Panzer from the area. 2-pounder setting up on the Stuart, though, getting a really good hit there. And Flak Panzer going to protect this 2-pounder. 2-pounder can't see the... Doesn't have an angle on this armored car. Is going to reface from the looks of things. I think backing away is a good decision. He does not want to lose that unit. Is actually going to go down, though. And this is our British players' opportunity to push in. Second Flak Panzer on the field here, pushing away all this infantry. Just completely ignoring this Stuart as shells bounce right off the front. 2-pounder remanned by that engineer there. And Flak Panzer is going to pick up the armored car. Nice get. Stuart continuing to be aggressive here. Did have a damaged engine on this Whirlwind, so going to be able to chase for a little while here. Jaeger's nowhere to be seen, so this Stuart is free to take out this Whirlwind here. Is going to get hit by another Panzerfaust, though. 2-pounder tried to be captured by the German, but not going to happen. Man, this fight has been going continuously for 5 minutes here. This is crazy. Barrage on the 2-pounder there to prevent it from being remanned. Stuart going to go down to a Panzerfaust. Nice pickup by the German there. And Flak Panzer going to destroy the 2-pounder on its way out. And wow. So, British player lost both of his vehicles. And German lost 2 Flak Panzers, as well as a Pioneer squad. And I think also a heavy machine gun. I don't know where that heavy machine gun went down. That was just a ridiculous 3-minute fight. You know, German kept being aggressive. British player kept sending back, you know, didn't let up with that Stuart the whole time, just continuously peppering his opponent. Pioneers being re-added to repair this Flak Panzer, though. So I think for the entire duration there, our German player did not control 2 victory points. So he pushed way into his opponent's face, but then didn't capture any territory while that was happening. And now the British player can just come back out on the field and has 3 victory points for free, pretty much. So, you know, it can be really tempting to like get aggressive and try to wipe your opponent off the field, right? And we saw our German trying to do that. But I think ultimately it is going to come back to bite him. Now this Flak Panzer is a bit low here, but is going to push back this infantry section hiding on the edge there. Jaeger is coming in to cover this Flak Panzer from any potential units here. 2-pounder setting up, going to get a good shot though. Penetrating on that front armor, Grenadiers closing the gap. Actually retreating there, recognizing that the entire British army is here and ready to fight him. Mines being placed by our British player there in a seemingly random spot. And that's, you know, at a high level, that's what you got to do with your mines, right? I mean, players know common mine placements. So if you're throwing down mines, look, here's another one, deep in his own territory, right? German's going to have to get real aggressive in order to find that, and it's going to make his opponent's life really difficult. So, Now, Ray has teched up to the archer, and all he needs is a little bit more manpower to call that in. Looks like I didn't notice when it happened, but a infantry section did go down during all that fighting. Second flak panzer on the field. Looks like he's trying to push on this top side, and I definitely think this is what our German needs to do. He needs to spread out a little bit, recognizing that his opponent is strong on the bottom side, so he's finding where his opponent is weak right now. Archer on the field for our British player, and this thing is going to absolutely shred these flak panzers. 2-pounder going to get set up on this flak panzer as well. German getting really aggressive, not recognizing the threat just yet, is going to see it now. That high veterancy flak panzer ought to make it out, but this is a dead flak panzer from the looks of things, and actually getting aggressive with his entire army here, trying to get behind this archer. It's working. Flak panzer going down though, and now this other flak panzer is going to be in deep trouble to this 2-pounder. Should see him go down here, and that was an interesting decision from our German player there. Now this ought to be a dead archer. He needs a Panzerfaust. He's going to have one more Panzerschreck here. Can he get it? I don't think he's going to get it. Oh my goodness. 2-pounder running for its life here. Minesweeper's finding all these deep mines from the British player, funny enough. Infantry section supporting. Jaegers can't stay around there. 2-pounder is going to escape. And what a great fight for our British player. I mean, that was very, very aggressive by our German. I mean, he rightly identified that the archer basically has no armor and will go down to something like a flak panzer, but with a 2-pounder in support, he had just enough DPS to take out those flak panzers, and our German player's going for, what is that? I think that's his 5th? Is that his 5th flak panzer? 1, 2, 3... 4. I think it's his 5th one. Barrage coming in here from the base artillery recce package. German going to close the gap. And so, you know, I like this situation a lot more for our German than I liked the last push that he did, right? You know, he followed this push up by capturing a bunch of territory, and he's actually using his breakthrough ability to make it so that he can capture territory extremely quickly, and we can see that he took all the fuel, took all the victory points, so nicely done there. British player obviously has a ton of breathing room here. Has nearly 400 points, so he's not in a hurry to have to take back these points. He's going to push out now and see what he can get done. British player setting up some sandbags here, but not great timing for him. Archer in the area, ready to deal with any flak panzers from his opponent.
Infantry training is underway, Commander.
Infantry section sitting back with these recce packages, going to blast away. Flak panzer on the edge of the map, getting close with these high entrance. The infantry squad is going to push them back. Archer doesn't seem to care. German very focused on this top side for now. Looks like both players really want that center point, but can't quite make it happen. Pioneer's going to roll up to that top side, maybe secure that fuel, maybe leave some mines behind. But is being found out by these infantry sections, and the archer is on the way as well. Hunting for that flak panzer. German player does have enough manpower and fuel for another flak panzer if he wants one. And based on what we've seen him do in this game, I would not be surprised if he went for yet another flak panzer here. I do think our German might want to think about switching strategies just a little bit. I think a Stoßtruppen could be really, really strong here. Stoßtruppen, of course, good at all ranges. He's going to go for a command panzer. Okay. So the command panzer saw some changes this patch. I think the only thing that's different is that its aura range was increased from 25 to 35. So 35 is about the range of an infantry section. Like an infantry section has 35 range. So about, I don't know, that far. Basically, as soon as they're able to fire, that's how long the range is. So, you know, that lets the command panzer sit way further back. Black Panzer getting aggressive here again. Probably going to go down to this 2-pounder and Archer combo. Did try to flame barrage the AT gun, but unfortunately for him, just a little bit too late. British player planting mines over here. Grenadier's going to have to back off. German player is going to come away with 2 victory points, but not for long. Command Panzer on the bottom side, pushing away that infantry section there. So Command Panzer is pretty good against infantry, but not super good against vehicles in my opinion, especially anything with armor. That said, this Archer only has that 40 front armor. That's basically nothing. So this Command Panzer should do just fine against the Archer if he can close the gap. That said, flare from this infantry section revealing the Command Panzer Archer moving up. Going to get a shot here. Missing, though, because he was moving. For those of you that don't know, when your tanks are in motion, they have decreased accuracy. Actually, that's true for all units. Some units are better on the move than others, of course, though. Archer coming down to this bottom side. 2-pounder's been recrewed. Where's that 2-pounder? Coming back to base to get reinforced. And yeah, looks like our British player does have control of 2 victory points. German pushing out in this middle, but I don't see him controlling this bottom side for very long. This long-range British force is able to get into that section there. Grenadiers fighting at maximum range, and with those assault packages, they're not going to do super hot. They are going to retreat back to base. Flank coming in from the German here, closing with the Archer. He's got 2 Panzer Shreks there. Panzer IV missing all of its shots on the Archer, though. Good connection there. 2-pounder set up on this Panzer IV as well. Command Panzer's going to bring down the Archer from the looks of it. Should get out of the arc of the 2-pounder, no problem. Jaegers aren't going to be able to hold this fight down for much longer. Using the breakthrough tactics is our German to pick up as much territory as possible. He is swinging to the top side with these Pioneers, but going to run smack into those infantry section there. Command Panzer dealing with some anti-tank grenades from his opponent. Does have another one available. I don't think it'll destroy it. 2-pounder is chasing, but I don't think he's going to close. Should see some infantry come into support, and we do. And actually, this 2-pounder is going to find this Panzer IV from the looks of things. Man Panzer giving him the rear armor here. Pounder not quite set up. Infantry Grenadiers on the scene, though. AT grenade going to take down the Command Panzer. So good trade for our British player ultimately there, and a nice little mine there, actually saving this 2-pounder from destruction. So what a critical mine, and I do believe that's a Crusader on the way. It is. So I think this transition to a Crusader 2 is a great choice by our British player. It's going to enable him to deal with all the infantry from his opponent. Didn't need the Archer anymore because his opponent isn't just pounding out Black Panzers now. Jaegers on the scene with a Panzer Shrek, though. Going to force away this Crusader. Infantry on the scene, though, using the combined arms to keep the Crusader in the fight. Jaeger's stealthing over there for just a moment. Barrage coming out from the base. So yeah, you know, we've seen our British player making excellent use of the base barrages all game long, but it hasn't felt as oppressive, right? He's just throwing it down to say, look, I'm going to deny this area to you for a small period of time, but he can't do it all the time, and I think that's been really good. So German player down to 17 command points, is trying to get on top of this command point to stop that capture from happening. But unfortunately for him, does not have any infantry in position to secure any of the other command points. I think we are going to see him bleed out here. Crusader 2 making short work of these Jaegers here. Grenadiers reinforcing them at the last possible second. Second Crusader in the area, though. And that is going to do it for our German. So, that was a fun little game. Got to see the Archer. Got to see the 2-pounder do some serious work. I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I did, and I will see you in the next video.